If, like me, you've been using the request library in Python a lot, you'll surely love it for its simplicity, how straightforward it is and easy to use. It's billed as HTTP for humans, and we can make a simple GET request to a server and store the response in just a single line of code. Now, this is really cool and really useful for us, especially when we're doing things like web scraping or getting data from an API. But its simplicity and its basic usage does come at some costs. Its most simple case of request.get misses out on a lot of features sometimes where we might want to make our code better by using these, or at least more tailored for the situation that we're trying to achieve. One of those features is a session. So what is a session? It's essentially an object that we can create that allows us to keep certain parameters from our initial request over further subsequent requests. What this means is by making these parameters persistent, we can clean up and speed up our code. So these could be things like authentication, maybe usernames and passwords, request headers, which I just did a video on last week. So if you want to go check that out, I'll put a link somewhere for you, or maybe things like cookies as well. But the main one we're going to be looking at in this video is the connection pooling that it allows us to use. We're essentially making our HTTP connection to that server reusable. So what are the benefits of this? Well, instead of creating a new connection to the server for each request that we do, we can effectively keep a single TCP connection alive for the whole time and use it to send multiple HTTP requests over it. So this can really provide a significant performance increase when we're scraping data from our website. A small change in the code is all that's needed. So I'm going to jump into the code right now and I'll run through some demos and I'll show you what I mean.
You'll be pleased to know that I finally got a replacement cable, so I'm back with my lovely headphones that I like so much, as opposed to those other ones. Sound really good, but nowhere near as comfortable as these. So this is the site that I'm doing the testing on. It's scrapethissite.com. It's basically for practicing your web scraping skills. Pretty cool, pretty useful. And this is the page here. What it is there are multiple pages here with data, and we start on page 1 and we load up. And what we could quite conceivably want to do with a website like this is pull out as much as or all of the data, including the names, etc, etc, etc. So this is the site that I'm using, so credit to those guys for making this. This is the code that I've got here. Let's make this a bit bigger so we can all see. I've got requests that I'm importing, beautiful soup to do the passing of the data, and I'm using datetime, and I'm just basically doing a rudimentary start and finish minus the start to give us a rough idea of how long it has taken to run this code. It's not an exact science, but it will be good enough and accurate enough to show us the difference in speed of the two. So we can see here I have this function called getTitle. I couldn't think of anything more imaginative to do, so we're just printing the title. Here's our URL, and we can see I'm using an F string with the X here to get each new page. And then we are doing our R is equal to request.get, which a lot of you will be familiar with, and we're printing the title and then returning the function. I have the if name is equal to main in here because of what I was doing some testing earlier. You absolutely don't need this bit if you're doing your own testing. You just need to run these functions. But I'm going to leave it in there for now. So we can see I'm creating a start time object and then a finish one, which I'm minusing, and we are doing for X in range 1 to 21, which is going to give us 20 pages, and then it's going to print the finish time taken. So if we run this, we will see that this should take, you can see that the titles popping up. This is every new page. We could have done a bit more and got the name of the first team or something like that, but we didn't bother. We can see that took us roughly 9 seconds, 0.84. So I'm going to delete that and here, and then I've got no session here, and I'm going to paste that in just so we can have a reminder of how long it took us. So to actually utilize the session, we just need to make a couple of small changes. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this function out here and paste it underneath. I'm just going to collapse the first one, and I'm going to say get title, and I'm going to say session there. And under our R is equal to request.get, I'm going to change that to R is equal to s.get, because s is going to be what our function is, our session is going to be called. The rest is going to be the same. And then down here, we're going to do s is equal to requests dot session. Now we're putting this outside of our function here because otherwise every time this function would run, we'd create a new session, therefore defeating the point of the actual session itself. So that needs to be outside of the function. We're putting it here. And then we are going to change our getTitle function to our new one. Let's save that, and our old session was 984, and we'll say with session our time will be, and we will run that now. Hopefully it should be quicker. It already looks quicker coming down the screen, if that's such a thing. And we can see it was 6 seconds, 0.3. So that is quite a marked difference there already. That's like over 3 seconds simply by using a session, so we can reuse that TCP connection, keep it connected up, and get our HTTP requests flowing much quicker. So I'll run that again just to see what we get, just to make sure it was consistent, and we can see it looks much quicker again, and it's going to be somewhere around 6 seconds. There we go, 5.45, so even quicker that time. So if I was to, let's say, change this back, let's comment out our S thing again, and then put just the getTitle here, run that one more time. It's probably going to be again somewhere around 9.5 seconds. You can already see it looks much slower. There we go, 9.56. So even over the space of 20 requests on one server like this, we have found that just by using the session object, we're able to speed it up by almost 50%. So I guess that's like a 40% speed increase just by doing this. So it's definitely worth looking at and putting into your code.
So as you can see, just a small change in our code to use that session can provide us with some significant benefits. So I'd urge you to go ahead and try this in your own projects, in your own code, and let me know how you get on. If you like this video and you found some value in it, please consider subscribing. I've got lots more videos on my channel like it and more to come. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.